Welcome to Unshrinkable, the podcast with a very catchy jingle and where we meet with some really inspiring women doing important work in the world. Get ready for powerful stories and practical tools to support you on your healing journey. I am your host, Emily Katz, and now let's dive into the episode with our next beautiful guest expert. Hello, everybody. I am so excited to welcome today the extraordinary Shirley Bandel. Shirley is an embodied mystic, healer, teacher, and medicine woman who has devoted over 25 years to exploring consciousness through the integration of body, mind, and spirit. Her journey has taken her across the globe, studying with renowned healers, masters, and shamans. She has immersed herself in indigenous wisdom, deepening her studies in curanderismo, healing, and plant medicines. Shirley's heart-centered approach to healing is both gentle and empowering, creating safe spaces for individuals to connect deeply with their authentic selves. Her teachings are influenced by a rich tapestry of modalities, including yoga, plant medicine, energy healing, movement, breathwork, shamanism, sacred sexuality, and sound. Through her work, she brings ancient wisdom to modern seekers, facilitating profound transformations. Originally from Belgium, Shirley has facilitated healing and transformation in various studios, retreats, and festivals around the globe. When she's not exploring indigenous tribes and healing plants in the jungles of the Amazon or the sacred mountains of the Andes, she resides in the Forest of Galilee in Israel. Her mission is to awaken souls ready to experience a brighter reality and to guide them through the shadows that hinder their growth, leading to a massive shift in consciousness. I'm so excited to have you here, Shirley. We actually first spoke about a year ago, maybe even around a year ago, and finally, divine timing, we're here. So, Shirley, please introduce yourself now and specifically how you got here doing what you do.
Okay, hi, I'm super happy to be with you, Emily. It's been such a long time and that we've been planning this conversation and life didn't make it happen, and here we are. Thank you for having me. So yeah, my path is kind of it's basically I'm following the journey of my soul, and it's really a soul calling. I didn't heard about the word shamanism 8 years ago, and I was very deep into yoga and movement, going to India, and then suddenly I participated in a ceremony, and they started calling in the spirits of the earth, the spirits of the land, the spirits of the sky, of the moon, the sun, the birds, the trees, the flowers, and it really touched my heart because this is something that I can grab and relate to, and that I can pray to and ask what I want to understand from life and receive messages. And so I dig deeper into this modality, which is old earth consciousness. We can call it shamanism. A shaman is somebody who is connecting the visible with the unseen worlds, speaking to spirits, asking for guidance to bring healing and transformation for the people. So a person will come to me with a broken heart or something is blocked. I'm working on a soul level, and then I'm gonna call in forces from nature or maybe spirit guides to guide into the healing modality that a person needs. And it can go through prayer, through touch, music, song. We like a shaman loves to rattle or to drum or frequencies and vibrations, and it can be channeled message, plant medicine. I work with plant medicine also. People are experiencing big transformation by coming and participate either in a private session or a collective ceremony. And even a private session is private ceremony. It's a ritual. We're working with intention. What do I want to work on? What do I want to change? What is not working in my life? What is blocking me to expand, to shine my light? I always remember where they're coming from. We are divine creatures, and we forgot our divinity. So through the work of shamanism, I allowed them to reconnect themselves to this deep forgotten knowing, which is this divine self. Reflection of Mother Earth, who is a divinity within herself, Father Sky, the birds, the flowers, the plants, the rocks, and all all beings reflecting this divinity. We forgot. We got trapped in our shadows, into anger, into sadness, into blame, into shame, into guilt, and we forgot that we can ask to write a new story. And so this is what I'm guiding people to understand. I cannot do the work for them, and they need to show up, but I can show them the way.
I love that. It's incredibly beautiful, and I have so many questions now, but my first question, I think, is, can you share a little bit about your own personal journey to your awakening or enlightenment, or how it is that you even found yourself on this path? You mentioned you were doing yoga and movement and focusing on things like that, but even before that, like what was your journey about a bit?
So of course, to be a healer or shaman, first we need to go through our own healing modalities and to understand who we are and why are we here and what did we came to do here. And I'm holding a very, very, very profound, deep, painful wound, which is we can call the mother wound. And I was married in a dysfunctional family, got divorced. Unfortunately, my children chose not to speak anymore with me, so I'm disconnected from my children. And with all this disconnection, I start to reconnect myself deeper and deeper into myself to understand where does it come from, where do I have experienced disconnection for this. So I'm also going into ancestral karma and healing. And I understood also that to be able, because my soul chose a path of service. I didn't know that. I really discovered it by going on that path. I was already a truth seeker through the yoga, but it was not profound enough. I really got my answer into shamanism, going back to very, very ancient practices by sitting in a circle around the fire, and with all kinds of people from all walks of life. And I start to see, yeah, there are people who are sharing their problems, where they're going through, what are they living. And so I understood that this mother wound, which is very painful, there is one great mother, the big mother, Pachamama, Gaia, Ima Adama, Mother Earth. And she's the mother of all. And so slowly, slowly, I reconnected myself to this frequency of Mother Earth, because myself felt not loved enough by my mother. I apparently, because this is what's happening, my children don't want to be in my, they're upset that I follow the shamanic path or spiritual journey instead of being the mother that they were expecting me to be. Though I was still a mother, an amazing and a very loving mother. I'm holding a healing space where I'm providing mother love to every sentient being who is coming. But it was, something went wrong in the story, like it's so, yeah, it's emotional because we are touching a very deep wound. But this is what brought me on this path, basically, the understanding that I'm holding a mother wound, me as the daughter of my mother and me as the mother of my daughters, and to understand who am I, why I'm here. Okay, I'm a cosmic child, I'm a divine child. We spoke before about the divinity, about this. I'm a child of the earth, I'm a daughter of Mother Earth. And like that, I started my healing. And I managed to bring light in this very deep pain. And I believe it's an ancestral pain. It's something that is not just from this incarnation. I also believe that as souls, we choose our constellation, because we have tikkunim, we have like repairs that we need to do on a soul level. Certainly on a soul who is on a path of awakening and enlightenment. Not that I think that I'm enlightened, but I do feel that I am going very deep on this journey. I'm not in the material. Yes, I live a material life, but I am more connected to spirits than fifth dimensional reality than in a third dimensional reality. And unfortunately, my daughters and even my mother, they are not there on their evolutionary level, so they can't understand me. They think that I'm a bit like a dirty old gypsy, which I'm not really a dirty old gypsy. I'm a courageous, brave woman who went to understand what a consciousness. I went into the jungles of Brazil to learn ancestral wisdom, because once upon a time we were healing through plants. Once upon a time there was not a label, this one is bipolar or multiple sclerosis. So we didn't have labels. There were plants and flowers who we were talking with and who were telling us, make a concoction, make a tea, grow this plant with this vine, and this leaf with this vine, pray, put your good intention, drink it, and it brought healing. This is the curanderismo that I was speaking to the plants, to the realms of nature, to help us heal and feel better. We came here to feel good and happy and to shine our light. But stories made some stuff went wrong on the way, on the path, and they didn't went wrong. They were just there to show where we need to look inside and to bring peace and love and forgiveness and acceptance. And some are not yet capable to release the anger or to release the pain for something new to come. So they still hold it. And the work of a shaman is to clean it, to clean those dark energies, really to remove the darkness and to bring in light, love, forgiveness, compassion, and remove anger, sadness, pain, shame, guilt. So this is that's the journey, and I see it very clearly that I had to go through something difficult to transmute, to be able to hold those kind of spaces, because the spaces that I'm holding are super powerful. It's really, I have like 15 people in a circle and they're going through their shadows, and I'm there sending energy, praying, singing. I have musicians there singing also. We are raising the frequency to all lower vibrations and dense emotion, thoughts, limited belief, to get out of the system, for them to get out renewed with a new program in their DNA. Basically, I am light, I am love, I am my bountiful, I am that I am perfect as I am.
Thank you for sharing that. And I can't imagine, I think, you know, whenever you hear someone's journey and the things they go through and the wounding, and it's always difficult to hear. And I really, I'm a bit of an empath, and so like I feel it. And so thank you for sharing. I think it's important that we share. I think one of the things that I find very important is to really bring like the humanness in a way, and the personal journey into these interviews. You know, when I interview the practitioners and the healers, and when we see that a lot of the journeys are really through adversity, right? It's getting through adversity and turning your pain and your trauma into transformation and purpose and passion, and I really find it's a common theme. And so thank you for sharing. I think it's an important piece for people to hear about as well.
And it's really crazy, this story of the mother wound. And as I said, I'm super connected to Pachamama. Pachamama, it's the Spanish word of Mother Earth. And my house, my healing house here in Israel, where I'm living, I called it La Casa de la Madre, the house of the mother. And I'm waiting for my daughters. I really wait for them to be able to accept who I am, because this is who I am and this is who I came to be. I didn't, all the years before, I was putting mask of a person that society wanted me to be. And once you start doing this energy work and this healing work, and also through yoga practices and other modalities, you need to unmask and unpeel, and then you come to really who you are. And I am this shaman, and it's a shaman, and okay, I'm not this glamorous lawyer or famous journalist that my daughter would have wished me to be, but I'm sorry, this is who I am. I don't even need to be sorry for that. I just need to accept. and like I needed to accept who I am. It was not an easy one, because it's to understand, I had to go very deep. I needed to go into the jungles of Peru and into the jungles of Brazil and into the mountains and trekking, going like 5, 8, 7 hours hike to come to reach a portal and to see a sun gate in Peru, in the Sacred Valley, and to see this infinity and this vastness of the world, to start understanding that life has got another meaning than the little stuff that we have been programmed and that we have agreed to be programmed. So it's the work that I'm doing. It's about unprogramming, deprogramming, and putting a new program in a new belief system. I always speak back to write the new story. My first chapter of my life, for my first 50 years, was that now I've got a new page, and I can create a new reality, a loving reality, a compassionate reality, a reality where I see people smiling and connecting one to another, building unity and harmony. This is the path that I'm walking. This is the shamanic path, according to Shirley, because every shaman has got his belief system, his journey, his wounds, his quest. So yeah.
I find that really is the case. I'm smiling a lot because you mentioned unprogramming or deprogramming, and that it is our programming, and being open and willing to recondition ourselves, right? And I don't know if I told you last year, but that's going to be the topic of my PhD. I will be, I'm enrolling in my PhD soon, and it will be about how we can deprogram ourselves, and how we recondition, and how we, trying to come up with a model that can help with reconditioning, or taking that, contributing to the literature, the existing literature. It's a growing field, and it's something that it's my specialty. And so I find like it's a lot of the work it's the same thing. We're trying to relearn, we're trying to unlearn and relearn and heal, and at the end of the day, I feel that that's what all of us healers, therapists, practitioners, like, it's our mission. We just want to help people heal and be happy and healthy and create this sustainable society that, where like the next evolution of humanity, basically, and
exactly.
I think so. When I hear you saying the exact words, I'm like, that's what my PhD will be on. It's very exciting to me. I may have to interview you for my PhD.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna want to do some work with me, and then you're gonna get even more downloads. But we'll talk about it.
100%. I'm just so exciting. I do feel that there's something else that I see as well. It's like I feel that some people are more open to a spiritual kind of mystical path, right? And some people are less so. And I felt that my calling is to try and bridge the gap. It's to try and get like skeptics or the more science-minded, and to kind of help them like bridge that gap a little bit, to really raise that, like, that consciousness and that vibration of really reconnecting to the self and to source and to nature. And and I think it's something that I see it again and again with everyone, but with a bit of different language, a bit of a different angle, from a different approach, from a different thing, but it's all towards the same thing. So I love it.
Exactly. And today more and more scientists, they are getting into the spiritual realms, because they understood that they cannot just have the science alone. And this is what I also, but because, for example, myself, I'm embodied, because everything that I know, I've experienced. I put my feet in the jungles. I've been living there. I've been picked by the mosquitoes. I got but reading books. I lived experiences. For me, reading a book, I fall asleep immediately. So I really can't build knowledge or wisdom through reading and academic modalities. And let's go back, really, our ancestor, before the scripture, before the libraries, before the laboratories, how were they doing? And they were still living, and they didn't have intolerance to gluten and the milk and the this and all the programs. We spoke about programs and deprogramming. We've been programmed, and we've been conditioned to believe a scientific paper or a doctor or a teacher no, maybe we should question again. And that's why I love so much, and that's why I'm so influenced, and I love going to indigenous people to see, because they still live like once upon a time. And though even there they it got scattered and modernity arrived, but still not like in our civilization. Because yes, first the shaman, the healer, the page, the mage, the curandero, it depends, every culture has got their name, is they're gonna come and use a leaf. It was very funny. They would take like a leaf and they would come and do a kind of reiki with the leaf and talking and asking from the bad spirit that caused me an injury to go away. And it works. It works. You understand? So I experience it. So and I do it further also. So yeah, back to simplicity and to let the spirit guide us, because we forgot this connection, and today more than ever we need this remembrance.
You say simplicity, and I wonder whether it is simplicity, because I feel that maybe nature, like, and life, like, it's so complex, we don't even understand it, right? And that's back to like the science piece too. Like, science has been trying to investigate and prove it, but very, very disconnected from spirituality. There was the disconnect between like religion, which was like, this is our domain. Religion is in charge of spirituality, you know, with like modern society. I mean, like 100, 200 years ago. And then science was going to be just material things. Like, it wasn't anything, like, it wasn't allowed. And if science was in any way trying to explore the spiritual, then they would be killed for it, you know? And you have like, there's a whole bunch of like, if you go into the historical like things, there's a lot going on there that really had us disconnect from spirituality. And I feel that nowadays, because of the internet and social media and the shift to like a more globalized kind of intelligence and curiosity and knowing and whatever, then I think people are asking more and more questions, and it's all about reconnecting, I think. And as I said, for me, it's about bridging that gap. But okay, I want to know about a bit more about you. So what kind of modalities do you use? You mentioned yoga, you mentioned plant medicine. I'd like you to talk a bit about sound medicine too. Like, what are these modalities? How do you pause? Yes, I am interrupting. I'm sorry. But if you're enjoying this episode, you can prove it by liking and subscribing. And also, please share it with a friend who's into all things healing. It will be a huge, awesome support for us. So yeah, go do that. Okay, cool. Back to the show. Thank you. Love you.
So every time it's going to be a different, I'm blending, or like sound medicine I can do with Tibetan bowl or crystal bowls, or vibrational meditation. We did it together, actually. Remember, we did this chakra opening sound activation. Like, this would be sound and prayer again. Like after, at the end, I will probably make an invocation through a prayer, and it's frequencies and things, and you will feel it in your body, the work that some stuff are moving. Basically, it's sound can go deep, and we move or make you remember or see things. So this is with sound. I can work also with smells and aromatherapy, or smoke, sacred smoke. Just before we talked, I was burning Palo Santo, and this also clear and clean and purify the energy and bring you to focus. Touch. And plant medicine, taking people onto an altered state of consciousness. So we'll make ceremonies where we drink a particular tea, or we eat something, or we smoke something to go deeper into those realms. It's fascinating. It's scary at the same time. A lot of people feel afraid of that because they can't control it. To release control, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me, because all those medicines, they are on the frequency of love. So it's really high frequency medicines that make you lose a little bit the control of your mind, to get into your heart, and the heart is broken, so there is space for the pain, for the grief, for everything, until we reunify the heart, and we bring so much light that we can expand again and get out of the depression or get out of the trauma. Not that the trauma did not exist, not that we are burying it and we are forgetting and bypassing it. No, we see it, we address it, we cry it out, we purge it out, we dance it out, we yell it out with sound, you know, but we address it, and then we say, okay, I'm ready now for something else. I'm breathing, connecting to the light and to other kind of sounds, you know, and prayer. And here I can stand up again and walk my life and my path with dignity and with joy also, because life, like so many people go through so many traumatic stories. Why do we go through traumatic stories? To awake, to understand, okay, I had to go through this to now be open for joy, bliss, pleasure, and happiness, you know. So nowadays it's almost indecent to feel happy nowadays, because it's burning there is war there, there is child trafficking, there is so many horrors, so we're not allowed to be, we cannot be happy. No, we need to be happy for all those ones who mirror us, the drama, the trauma, the darkness that needs to be kicked out of this reality. So we have a responsibility to be on a high frequency, on a high vibration, for those ones who are suffering, for those ones who are dying or have been kidnapped or whatever they are going through. And we need to be grateful that our soul and that we chose something else, that it's not self-understood that we can be having this kind of communication while brothers and sisters of us not so far away are in a totally different reality. So we need to remember that all the time, and to aim to put as intention to be the best version of myself, and to be at service to help the ones who do not see the light yet, that they who can't see the light, to see the light.
Oh, a lot of stuff there too. First of all, I want to say, I want to like pick up from there, but I don't want to forget about the plant medicine stuff. So firstly, the plant medicine piece, I want to say that I think it's very important that is, and I'll ask you again to return to that, because I think it's important to do it with the right guide, and not to
Exactly.
just,
That's the most important.
not by yourself even. Like I think it's tapping into a very powerful, potent kind of medicine, and it's not something that you should just like self-medicate with, or or just go to anybody about. Like I think there's a safe way to do it, a safer way to do it, and I think that it's important that just gets said, because I think there's so much there's a lot of like negative things around like ayahuasca and smoking or whatever. Like I think that when it comes to plant medicine, it can be it is incredibly powerful. And so you have to know yourself and your limits, but you also have to have a good guide if you're doing a guided, ceremony. So that's just one thing I wanted to say about plant medicines. But what I wanted
it's super important, because we are working with magic, we are working with spirits, and there is the good spirits, and there is spirits who don't want your good, and the shaman himself, he can hold both frequencies, or for example, I only work with white magic. I cannot, even that's how I'm working. I need to be impeccable with the word. I need to work with integrity. I need to be honest, because if I'm gonna put a lie in my regular life, or if I'm gonna start be greedy and stuff like that, I put that in my medicine, I put it in my prayer, I give you something that has not the purest frequency. So it's super important, the person, the guide who is holding the space, how he walks his path, if you feel safe with this person,
but to hold the space for you too, because if you're purging and if you're processing, you need to have someone there that can hold that for you and help you guide you through.
Exactly, and it's not somebody that's gonna abuse your moment of weakness and re-traumatize you even deeper. And it happens. We can read about it, we can hear about it.
I've had a lot.
Of course, but but most of the time we hear about the bad stuff and we don't hear the good stuff because people, they already carry on. Like you asked me for testimonials, I don't put my, I didn't, I received them, but for me it's like, I'm already on to the next thing. I don't hold a book of fame, for example, for myself or to
No,
this.
but I'll say, because it's the unknown, people are unfamiliar
Yes,
with white magic. You mentioned magic, and
but
because it's unknown, people immediately are afraid of it. And when we're afraid of something,
of
we
course,
judge it. And then we most likely will judge it negatively. We'll say, we don't understand what that is, so we're going to say that that's wrong and that's bad and that's whatever. So I think that that's another piece as well about like how much we understand about something. It's ignorance about things. It's a disconnect. It's fear
of
based,
course,
so, but I wanted to, it was so
yeah,
important what you were saying to me about to us about the idea of being on a high vibration and happy when there's so much sadness and pain and trauma and suffering around us right now. It makes you feel guilty. It's like, do I have the permission to enjoy my life when there's so much
feel
suffering,
good.
and I feel that it's a really important point that you raised, something that I can really, really resonates with me too, because I personally chose to leave Israel because of how
Yeah,
dysregulating it was for me and how no longer I felt in alignment living in a war zone. But it was also that I couldn't then function. I couldn't function
yeah.
in the best of my abilities because I'm a highly sensitive empath. I was just crying the whole, like, all every day. I was just crying and
It
crying
was
and crying and crying. And I was useless. I need to be a mother. I have clients. I have a husband. I have a life to live, and I made the decision to uproot my family and to move and leave Israel. And with that came that there is this idea of guilt, especially then October 7th happened and everything, and not being there. But I believe that we all have our own unique path. And for some people, the path is to be in Israel and serve in Israel. For some people, it's to not be in Israel and serve from the sidelines or from afar or whatever. And for some people, it's whatever path they have. Yeah. I think everyone's path is very different. But the idea is that if you're running on empty and if you're very dysregulated, you cannot show up and serve. And
no, you can.
and my mission really is to serve too, and so I had to make sure that I was as regulated as possible and living as in alignment as possible. And so that for me helped me shift the guilt and feel kind of better about feeling better. you know but I feel that I can
But
serve more people if I am regulated and doing what I'm meant to be doing.
cool.
And that goodness
and
then has an impact and creates more goodness. So it's
and you
important.
want to know what's up, the land that you bought and the forest that you purchased, the roots are connected with the roots of the tree here in my garden and with the trees of the Amazon, and with all that we are like like one consciousness, one globe. So it doesn't matter where you are, you need to feel good. Spirit always keep on bringing me back to Israel. It's like, really, I thought I wanted to be, I didn't want to be here, but something always, and I know why, because I need to bring the healing that I'm holding, I need to bring it on this land. And the healing that you are doing, you are talking with healers and teachers from Israel, but you are based in Spain. Huh? This is where you are located. It doesn't matter anymore. So really release this guilt, as you said. You need to feel good. And now I'm here, but at the end of this month I'm traveling again. I'm going again to the jungle for 5 weeks of dieta with ayahuasca in the jungle of Brazil. Then I'm gonna be in Peru, probably also in Bolivia. And at the end of the summer I'm going back. I hate summer in Israel, it's just too warm. And so I made sure that I can be out of the country in this period, and then I'm gonna come back and do my service here. Because as a shaman or as a healer, you are at service of humanity. You are at the service of the transformation for people, for the good of everybody, not just for my personal good. This is the work on a bigger picture that we are doing. We are serving a bigger purpose of helping this humanity to shift in a better timeline.
I love it. I love it, and I agree with everything you said, and it is beautiful, and it's so inspiring to me how you're traveling and how global it all is, and all these things. Oh, one day I'm gonna travel too. I feel it. I know that it will come soon. I also have always really been fascinated with visiting like indigenous cultures and seeing how people, you know, live more tribal kind of lives and a different society, you know, different civilizations. Like that's always something that's really, really intrigued me. So I shall be doing that one day. But I love this. And okay, so before we wrap up, there's something I always ask my guests to share an exercise, a practice, or a tip, or just an insight, or something that they can experience in the here and now, something quick and easy.
So I gonna invite you on a little meditation. You're just gonna close your eyes, and I'm gonna make an invocation or in prayer. I'm gonna call. I do not know which one yet. It's gonna be probably a tribe from the Amazon, and you just close your eyes and go through it. Okay. So take a big inhale, exhale, get out. Another inhale. Soften your face, your lips, your forehead. Punaka Kilima Pa Katakamaka Tira Hirana Na Ni Na Hirana Panauni Punaka Kilima Pa Katakamaka Tira Hirana Na Ni Na Hirana ni Chana uni punaka kirima pa katakamaka nai nai ni na nai ni Emily uni punaka kirima pa katakamaka nai nai ni na nai ni. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And slowly come back into your body and open your eyes. This is an invocation of the Shaninka tribe, and they're calling all kind of spirits to for healing and transmuting the energy. At one moment, I even said, Emily, like Emily is a reflection of the spirit as well, and I was invoking you. I brought your name also into the prayer.
Thank you. What were they? What's the tribe called?
Ashaninka. Ashaninka. Yeah. And they are in the Amazon of Brazil and Peru. And for me, those I'm very much now still connected to Brazil, to Peru, to the Amazon, but every tribe has got their connection to the earth. If you go to the African tribes and those one, and in every tribe there is a healer who knew which plant to take and to mix together to heal or to get their people connect with spirits, because nature is full of connector.
No, it reminds me of like native Indians, I think, and the Australian Aborigines. Like it sounds very similar to the things that they're very connected to nature, right? Like the native Indians, the American Indians. I don't know. I don't think American Indians are native Indians in America. I think they're the ones that are, the more mainstream, where you hear about how connected they are to nature. But yeah, I think it's like a lost art and a lost wisdom, and something that I think we can learn a lot from. So I'm very grateful to you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And a lot of people are starting really to reconnect.
100%. And I think
with this ancient modality.
You know what? I think it's really important. I think that we have this maybe fallacy or this idea that we're the most intelligent kind of emotionally. I don't think we are. I think that maybe thousands of years ago we knew a lot more about different things, and there's all this new information coming forward about even the pyramids and things like that, of how they were built. They had an intelligence that doesn't make sense that it existed back then. And a lot of, in South America too, there's all the different tribes and civilizations and all these stories coming through. And I'm learning about it while I'm always interested in this stuff. It's really, really fascinating. But I think that we're not inventing the wheel at all.
No.
We're actually trying to just bring it back. We've
Yeah.
disconnected from it. And so, and I think a lot of that was to do with modern civilization, industrial revolution, things like that, that really kind of disconnected even more, and the split between the church and science. Anyway. Okay.
And we need to also remember and understand that there were other ancient civilizations, like the one who built the pyramids, or the Incas. They were on the Incas in the Andes in Peru. They were on a level of consciousness of 10, like such a high level of consciousness. They've been building temple on 5,000 meters of mountains. It's impressive once you start stepping and going and making those journeys in the world, and you feel so small. You see, we are so small, human. Our consciousness is so small compared to all those mysteries that were once upon a time. So it's slowly, as the souls are awakening, we start to remember. And even that we don't have a real remembrance, but we are called to go to that place. Why am I going over and over again to Peru? Because my soul has been there already. I know this is like, I start to feel it, and I meet people on my journey. They tell me that you've been called Mother Veronica. Apu Veronica, it's a mountain. She's been calling you again and again. She's training you for feminine leadership, for these times of transformation. I receive these kind of messages while I'm walking in Egypt. I sit next to the pyramid. I have this woman veiled with her kids coming. She gave me her baby on my thing, because apparently I've got an energy that her child needed for whatever he needed. And I said, okay. And this is walking the spiritual path. You do not know, you are at service of wherever your feet go. And if your feet go, it's because there has been called. So you are probably have been called to do your work in Spain, and nothing to be guilty about. You see, to feel really good about it. And you do it.
I experienced too the synchronicities and the different things, and like I just feel this is meant to be, and this is meant to be, and all the signs that I get to I lived experience. When you feel it and when you experience things, when things happen to you, you can't deny it, and you don't question it anymore, because you're just like, okay, I guess so, then I'm just gonna have to go with it. And there's a lot of resistance, and I think what you mentioned about how small we feel, I think there's a lot of humility and very humbling kind of process that you go through, the stripping of the ego, and that we're whatever. Okay, exactly. we could go into this for like forever. We could talk just about all of this stuff. There's always another thing, but I'm gonna end it here because I like to keep these under an hour. But Shirley, yes, of course. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, and your wisdom and your insights and your experience and your journey. And I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Thank you. And a big thank you to everybody listening in. I hope you found our conversation as inspiring and enlightening and fascinating as I did. You can find Shirley's links in the description. And, if you want to reach out to her and ask her questions or work with her or whatever, you can find her. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps me reach more listeners and hopefully make a bigger impact. And we'd love to hear from you. Me and Shirley, we'd love to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway from today? It's something that I always like to hear about. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more episodes coming your way. Shirley, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. My pleasure. All right. Lots of love, everyone. Bye. And that's a wrap. So yay. Thank you for listening all the way through. I'm going to assume that means you liked it. So if you haven't yet, please go and hit the like and subscribe buttons. And don't forget to share this with someone who is into healing. And come and say hi on our socials. We really, really would love to connect with you. The link's in the description below. And I'll catch you on the next episode.